How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews back with yet another review. A little bit of, long time no see. Goodness, hopeful goodness. In the form of Kane Brewing Sunday Brunch. This is an Imperial Milk Porter with coffee, root coffee, mind you, maple syrup and cinnamon. Kane. I've done quite a few of their beers. I enjoy them quite a bit. And, how they pretty much roll with their bottle releases now, especially like the mid-size to their big releases, as they do like online ticketing. You just basically, on a Monday or Tuesday, they kind of release it into the wild, and you go up there and you buy up your tickets online, and you go show up at a brewery over the course of a couple weekends, you pick up your beer, done and done. Sometimes I do that, and I think last time I might have did that was for this. No, there was one other one, but 2 years ago, I thought it was last year that I did this, and I looked up online, and it was not the case, actually. It was 2 years ago I did that. So this year, they were doing a ticketing thing, and I was like, I actually really love this beer, but I'm not going to get it, because I actually had plans to go north of where I live, to go up to Hudson Valley, go up to Swartz Brewing, actually. That kind of fell through, so me and my buddy Keith, we kind of shuffled down this way. Just so happened to be the first day you would pick these up. When I was down there, I walked in, and lo and behold, someone's like, hey, Matt, who the fuck is that? It's one of my viewers, David. He comments quite a bit, and he was there, and we sat and just kind of chugged beers and talked for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and he's like, hey, man. He's like, you want one of these? So I bought one off him. He didn't give it to me, which is totally fine, because, he sold it to me for cost, which is a good thing. He's like, you want one of these? He's like, I can't just give it to you. Not that I would ask anybody to give me anything, except for mystery beer. Send those. Anyway, so I bought this off him, and I'm kind of excited to give it a whirl, because like I said, I usually, if I'm going to repeat a review, I usually like to wait a little bit, but I thought it's been a year, so I'm like, I might not review it, but here the fuck we are. So there you go. Long intro. I know you guys hate that. All 7,000 of you. Anyway, let's see what's what. Pour this in there. It's an Imperial Milk Porter. The year I actually went and bought this, there was an adjunct issue, to where there had too much kind of residual adjuncts that caused like a secondary kind of fermentation in the bottle, and a lot of them were gushing when people opened them. They were quite tasty. I didn't really have any gushers, so I didn't have any problem with it. You can go watch my review and hear all about that. But as far as this goes, we're talking about an index finger, malted malt ball color, maybe slightly above that infinite creaminess. It looks like super kind of frothy, delicious, cool whippiness above a really nice kind of dark base. New label, from what I understand. I remember the old one being, older. And I like it. You know, a lot of times when breweries kind of change labels, I can get a little bit poopy on them, but I can kind of dig that. Really well done, thoughtful. The back is actually way simpler. I'm a fan. You did good. Good job by you, Kane. So how about that? So there you go. Looks like an Imperial Porter. Let's put it that way. Get a nose in the sucker. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, that's pastry. It's maple syrup, it's cinnamon, it's vanilla, it's chocolate. There's like a coffee vibe, but it's like a cold press kind of coffee. I think it might be a bit more bitter in the taste, but I think when you have that sweet on sweet, you're talking about a maple syrup kind of vanilla vibe in there with that sweet chocolate malt. I think that's kind of tempering a bit of that bitterness. Man, that smells absolutely heavenly. I mean, this is pastry stout. You know what? Scratch that shit. This isn't pastry stout. Sure, you can classify it as that. This is more just like coffee stout with pastry vibes to it. That's how this comes off to me. It smells delicious. It smells like breakfast. Breakfast stout. Isn't that a thing already? Cheers. It's delicious. I mean, I'm not sure what else I could say that hasn't been already said about this in the past, even by me. But I feel like there's the biggest thing that jumps out at me, the immediate thing that jumps out at me, is a difference in balance between this and what I remember having. I remember the cinnamon being a little bit more aggressive in the older ones. It's not here. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. It's still there. It's still impactful. But it's just not as cinnamon forward. Now, the maple syrup probably is as equal, if not a little bit skosh more than previous, but it doesn't make the beer thinner or flabbier. You get that a lot from maple syrup. It ends up adding this kind of like oily, and it's the way it comes off for me, kind of vibe to beers. I'm not getting in there, so I'm getting it impact-wise. I'm not getting it kind of mouthfeel-wise. It's every bit an Imperial Porter. There's a little bit of heat, alcohol heat, so you're drinking a 9.2% alcohol by volume beer. but it has this super carbonated fluffiness. It's not over carbonated. It's a porter carbonation. Just so happens to be a 10% porter carbonation. There's soft vanilla vibes in there. There's soft chocolate vibes in there. A little bit of roasted malt. Then we get to the biggest portion of the show, and that is the coffee. This is a coffee beer first and foremost. That's what I've always thought it to be, and that's why I kind of switched from pastry to coffee with pastry kind of bits and pieces. The coffee's fabulous in this. It has a nice roast to it. It's big and robust. It's like a dark roast coffee. It's not that timid, but at the same time, it's still beer. With all those bits and pieces involved, with all that going on, the cinnamon, the maple syrup, the coffee, all that going on, it's still a big, robust porter. And that is a trick a lot of people try to pull off and don't accomplish. A lot of people try to do these beers and they just end up being a delivery system for every adjunct they put in there. It's the partly sunny, partly cloudy argument. This is partly sunny. This is the sunny part is beer. Am I reversing that? I'm fucking it up, am I? Basically, what I'm trying to say, without making horrible analogies, is that this is beer first, adjunct second, whereas a lot of people go adjunct first, whether they mean to or not, and then beer second. It just comes off really nice, soft, creamy, impactful where it needs to be. It's a great beer. I mean, Kane, they do great beer in general. I mean, you guys know my love for them. I love them because they make great beer. I don't love them because they're Kane. But I don't get there's a lot of like residual hate on Kane as of late, especially when it comes to their bottle releases and their stouts. I just don't get it. I think they're fantastic, well-made beers. Maybe, the volume that's being turned up on a lot of these kind of new beers, these pastry stouts, these kind of crazy beers. And everybody's going so adjunct heavy that, the beer drinker nowadays, whether it be someone that's just eating the hype, drinking the Kool-Aid, almost literally, not figuratively there, and just maybe the new school beer drinker likes volume over substance. And I think this beer has substance. It doesn't have that crank to 11 factor I think a lot of people gravitate towards. This is a great beer. Great representation of a style you don't see a ton. Imperial porters, not that everybody does them. When they do them, they usually don't do them this well. And just showcases every adjunct in the beer while at the same time being still a beer. And I love that. So let's talk about it. Is this one of the better Imperial porters, adjunct-laden Imperial dark beers? Do we go porter stouts? Let's go porters. I mean, that kind of puts it in a small classification. Is it one of the better coffee-forward beers? There you go. Let's put it in that category. Coffee-forward beers that I've had, I was like, yes. Yes, without a doubt. Delicious, fantastic, all the adjectives you want to use for being good. And just absolutely delicious. Thank you very much for let me pick one of these up, David. I'm really appreciative of that. Value availability. I paid $20. I think that's right around what they cost. It's like 18 and change or something like that, and taxes and all that. So $20 fine by me. Value availability. I just said that words, but the availability part, like I said, you have to do the kind of purchase ticket thing. It's not that hard. You could do it. And leave you with, if you like what way you like this beer, if you like the kind of coffee forward, breakfast stout, Mexican chocolate kind of beer, you like those, but you're getting a little too sick of the adjuncts cranked to 11, this one works. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers, if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing a podcast? We talked to Mike Kane a couple times. Check that out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little, Sunday brunch right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.